Coming up on Wake Up NonStop Local, breaking news, an Amazon truck crashing off I-90. We're live near the scene with what happened to the two people who were inside.
Guilty. As to count 4, battery. As to Gregory Johnson, guilty.
Also this morning, mixed verdict. Jurors handing down their decision in the case against a security company owner and his involvement in the dragging of a woman from a town hall event in Coeur d'Alene, what it means for him and the time he could serve behind bars.
Busy travel weekend ahead of us. If you or a loved one plan on heading over the mountain passes, I'll tell you what winter driving conditions to expect in your forecast.
And controversy at the Kennedy Center. The unanimous board decision to make it the Trump Kennedy Center, and why one board member says that she's challenging that unanimous claim.
At that point, I said I have something to say, and I was muted.
The very latest ahead.
All that plus, drunk.
Wake up, you gotta rise to the sun, and here it comes, it's time to make the best of what you got to give. It's all about rising, and I wanna be there.
Morning, thanks for joining us. I'm Kalai Chalk.
I'm Sam Adams. I don't like to say it very often, but they were sleepless in Seattle last night. Gutsy decision, going for 2, paying off for the Hawks. They are now officially playoff bound. And with that, they have moved into sole possession of first place in the NFC West with just 2 games to play. You saw that game winning. We've only got like 30 seconds to talk about it off the top of the show, but trust us, we're going to lay it all out for you later on this morning.
Yeah, wait for our sports team. They'll have that. For now, let's get to Justin Spinney. We know a lot of people will be headed back over the mountains. They got to watch that game in person. Now they're coming back to Spokane.
Yeah, no doubt about it. The forecast last night in Seattle was loud. A bit loud for us also last night in the inland northwest with some gusty winds once again blowing through, but we got to start with that past forecast. Whether you're traveling back from the Seahawk game or have travel plans for the holiday week ahead, get ready for winter driving conditions over Snoqualmie Pass in particular. Winter storm warning is in effect for about the entirety of the Cascades. Snoqualmie Pass included in that. Reminder, Stevens Pass, it is closed right now, and there is no estimated time for when it will reopen. Areas like Leavenworth still accessible via Blewett Pass, but again, Stevens Pass you currently can't get over because of the flooding impacts that we saw at the end of last week. At Snoqualmie Pass, over a foot of snow is expected based on what we got last night and what we're going to continue to see through the day today and all the way into tomorrow. Also, if you're traveling over Lookout Pass, the Montana side of it right now is under a winter weather advisory. A few more inches will be tagged on as we head over the next couple of days. But looking at our satellite and radar right now, we had a band of showers that stalled out down toward areas like the Palouse and the LC Valley. We actually have a flood warning that's currently in place because of that. We'll talk more about where that is and what you should know about that flood warning coming up. Sam and Clyde.
Okay, see you soon, Justin. I-90 is back open this morning after a semi-truck crash shut down eastbound lanes for hours overnight on I-90. Crews towed that truck about 2:30 this morning.
All right, this all happened on eastbound I-90 between the Hamilton and Altamont exits. That's where we find our nonstop local reporter Noah Bolter live this morning.
Well, Sam Clay, according to the Washington State Patrol, both the driver and passenger in that semi-truck were taken to the hospital for their injuries, but right now we don't know how serious those injuries are. But we can show you what that scene looks like this morning. You can see where that guardrail bent in multiple locations, broken in the middle with cones behind it. As mentioned by Sam, this on eastbound I-90 just between Altamont and Hamilton. WSP says this happened just before midnight and that the driver was speeding too fast for conditions while heading eastbound on I-90, hitting the guardrail and resting halfway on the dirt embankment while partially in the on-ramp lane. We also have footage of the truck being towed away around 2:30 this morning. WSP says the driver was wearing his seatbelt, but the passenger was not. The semi-tractor, which is the front part that the driver and passenger sit in, is total. Now, right now, as mentioned by the anchors, there is no affected traffic, but a good reminder to drive for conditions. Live in Spokane, Noah Bolter, NonStop Local.
Noah, thank you. Now to the latest on the trial of Paul Truitt, the owner of the security company whose guards dragged Teresa Borenpol out of the Kootenai County Republican Town Hall earlier this year. Truitt was found guilty of 2 counts of battery as well as 2 counts of security uniform and duties violations. All of those charges are misdemeanors.
However, he was found not guilty on 2 counts of battery and 2 counts of false imprisonment. Meantime, Borenpol's testimony proving to be key to the case, which she shared earlier this week.
I was thinking that I wanted to stay in the auditorium for as long as possible because men were so brazenly assaulting me. I didn't know what they would do if they got me alone.
Sentencing has not yet been scheduled. It is expected to come in the next 30 to 60 days, and he could face a year in prison. Screen right now, the FAA and NTSB investigating a deadly plane crash involving former NASCAR driver Greg Biffle and his family. The plane going down Thursday in Statesman, North Carolina, leaving 7 people dead, including Biffle and his wife and 2 children.
The FAA says the Cessna C-550 crashed while trying to land at Statesville Regional Airport, about 45 miles north of Charlotte. Data from FlightAware shows the private jet took off from the airport, flew 5 miles, and then made a sharp left turn back to the airport.
Biffle is from Vancouver, Washington. He was recently certified as a pilot. Investigators, though, have not said if he was the one piloting the aircraft.
The Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts is getting a name change following a board decision to rename it to the Trump Kennedy Center. The decision is receiving mixed reaction.
President praising the board's decision, while a board member objected to the claim that the decision was in fact unanimous.
I was surprised by it. I was honored by it. You know, we're saving the building. We saved the building. The building was in such bad shape, both physically, financially, and every other way, and now it's very solid, very strong.
I wanted to ask questions, voice my opposition, ask why, and immediately I was muted. And as I continued to press unmute, I then received a message saying I would not be unmuted as I continued to push the button.
Congress first named the center after President John F. Kennedy in 1964. Following his assassination, it has been left unchanged since then. 6:39 still to come this morning here on Wake Up NonStop Local.
And when it comes to that weather forecast, we're not just tracking those travel conditions. We had some gusty winds last night. Some of those winds will be sticking around, though not quite as strong. We'll talk about the winds and what your temperatures will look like as we round out the week coming up.
And we're getting you ready for a fun-filled Christmas weekend. We'll have Kate Hudson with Visit Spokane, helping you plan it all ahead on Wake Up NonStop Local.